Good morning, hoodies. Welcome back to the Hood Table one more again. This is your girl Tanya with another The Hood Table podcast, and we are continuing on with the R. Kelly sex trafficking trial. This is day 7 that we're going to be speaking about, and we are going to be speaking about a third accuser and witness who is testifying in New York at the R. Kelly sex trafficking trial. Now, on your way in, make sure you please like and share the video and subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed. Please and thank you. Now, as I always mention at the beginning of my show, for those who don't know, R. Kelly is facing a multitude of charges from sex trafficking to forced labor, racketeering, sexual exploitation of children, and kidnapping. And today we are going to go over what we have come to find out from day 7 of the R. Kelly trial. A third accuser and witness testified that when she was 17 years old, she endured a 6-month sexual relationship with R. Kelly, where she was often humiliated, degraded, and terrorized by the star. So let's discuss this witness today. One of Stephanie's memories, and Stephanie is the name that she's going by, one of her memories of R. Kelly was when she and him were out to eat with 2 rappers. While at dinner, R. Kelly stated how much he loved young girls, but he didn't understand what the big fuss with everyone was all about. Kelly even stated, "Even look at Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis, he's a genius, and I'm a genius. We should be allowed to do what we want. Look at what we give to the world." And for those of y'all who do not know, Jerry Lewis was also a famous musician who married his 13-year-old cousin. Now, Stephanie, who took the stand the other day, described her relationship with R. Kelly to the courts. And from what I gathered, Kelly comes off as having what I would call a Jekyll and Hyde personality. And I swear that's one of the things the ladies on the Lifetime Surviving R. Kelly series said about him as well. If not the same, it was something very similar. But yeah, to me, it's either a Jekyll and Hyde personality or possibly even bipolar disorder. The way some of these accusers have described him thus far would give you the perspective of, or the perception, I should say, of Kelly having some very high highs as well as some very low lows. And oh, when somebody gets disobedient or disregards his rules or his demands, he can come off as quite the monster, as some people call him. A very scary person, from what Stephanie was also describing. So scary that Stephanie even accused Kelly of having 2 sides to him. He was very nice and charming, jovial, she said, or he was very controlling, intimidating. He would raise his voice at me and could put the fear of God in me very quickly. She says she won't ever forget parts of the year 1999 because that was the lowest time of my life, she said, crying. "I'll never forget the way he treated me." When R. Kelly would erupt in profane rages, again she stated that he could put the fear of God in me, she testified. She said that at one time he cursed her out and said, "Don't ever ask about another man to me." He erupted in that manner after she asked him the whereabouts of one of the people in his circle. Stephanie, 39 years old, met R. Kelly in 1999. She had a 6-month-long relationship with the king of R&B. She is now a wife and a mother who lives in Chicago. The reason why she sought out the singer in Chicago in 1999 was to help out a friend with their musical career, she said. And I must say her friend must have meant a whole lot to her to go through the things she endured within a 6-month relationship, because while I love my friends dearly, I don't have that much dedication in me. Nope, not at all. Anywho, moving right along. From what we can determine up until now is that R. Kelly was definitely a freak and a sex addict. Not only can we tell that from the accusers and the witnesses, but he also made that very clear to us through his musical career. Stephanie testified to the jury that his sexual demands and his frequent videotaping of her in humiliating positions left her disgusted and feeling less than. Stephanie recalled one weekend when Kelly flew her out to Orlando from Chicago, but during that weekend, he only met with her one time, just for her to give him oral sex at a studio. She said she cried all the way back home to Chicago. "I felt used, humiliated, and degraded," she told the jury. And on another occasion, Stephanie claims that R. Kelly had her give him oral sex in his SUV while other people were riding along with them in the vehicle. R. Kelly was very controlling when it comes to sex. He would be very specific with how he would want me to be. He would put me in positions he would want me to be in, she said. Sometimes he would even have her get completely naked in a particular position, and then he would leave the room for hours at times. If he would happen to return to the room and not find her in the exact same position, he would become angry, she said. Again, the reason why she got involved with R. Kelly in the first place, she claims, was to help out a friend. She had no idea that helping out a friend with their musical career would end up with her being in a very abusive relationship, or with all of her sexual encounters with the star on a videotape. She described in court how one time he had wanted to pick her up. He wanted to take her to the studio so he could film them having sex. When she relayed that to a friend, her friend asked her, why did she go through with it? She was asked. I felt like I didn't have a choice, she answered. In court, Stephanie was asked by Assistant U.S. Attorney Nadia Shahada, why did she continue seeing Kelly 6 or 7 times a month over the span of 6 months? Per Stephanie, her response was to stay in good with him so she could possibly get the tapes from him. She never did, she said. This takes us back to the other day when a few of the accusers stated that R. Kelly would force them to do things in order for him to blackmail them. Making videotapes of his sexual escapades with women were to benefit him in more ways than one. We also learned that on the Surviving R. Kelly series as well. When some of the women threatened to leave him or go to the authorities, he would threaten to leak their sex tapes. And evidently, that's probably what Stephanie was also afraid of, as well as probably one of the reasons she later hired a lawyer. Stephanie was seeing R. Kelly in 1999 over the span of 6 months. 1999 was also the last time she had spoken to R. Kelly. Another thing we learned from the Lifetime series was that Kelly was oftentimes drawn to underage girls who were having troubles at home. Some of the girls were very naive, even telling him in confidence that they were once sexually abused. And what would he do with that information? Was to groom them into trusting him. Then he would turn right around and abuse them as well. Such is the same with Stephanie, who had met R. Kelly at a Chicago McDonald's at the age of 16. R. Kelly had an employee hand her his phone number, which she tossed away. But then 1 year later, when her friend Catherine needed help with her musical aspirations, Stephanie thought that she could possibly help her. Kelly was shopping at a Nike store near a barista downtown where Stephanie worked, so she figured it was as good a time as any to seek him out to hopefully get an audition for her friend. During the time her friend was trying to get her career off the ground, Stephanie was also dealing with low self-esteem. This was due to not only experiencing sexual trauma from a family member, but also from men on the street and a previous boss. She was at the hardest point in my life, she said. After seeking out the singer, she asked him about her friend auditioning for him. He said, yeah, that he could arrange that, but also he liked to get to know me, she said. And also that he likes to cuddle, and would I be okay with that? When invited to R. Kelly's studio after speaking to him for a while, he also requested that she refer to him as Daddy. During her first visit to the studio was when he also, for the first time, initiated sex with her, she told the jury. Stephanie, when cross-examined by defense attorney Nicole Blank Becker, acknowledged that she hired a lawyer. Some of you might recall Gloria Allred, who has represented several accusers of R. Kelly. Stephanie on the stand claimed Kelly was never physically abusive towards her. And when asked by Becker, were you intimate by choice? She said that she had sex with Kelly more than 15 times. We were intimate because I wanted to do what I needed to do to help Catherine, Stephanie testified. And that is what we got from day 7 of the R. Kelly sex trafficking trial. I will come at you guys with another podcast as soon as I get more information on this trial. I do know today that per the judge, they did take off today and they are going to pick back up Monday with more testimony from more witnesses. And also, the third accuser, I don't know if she's going to be back Monday, but if she does be back Monday, or whether it's a different accuser or witness, I'm going to take some notes and I'm going to bring to you another podcast from the Hood Table with your girl, Tanya. And everybody, again, like the video, share the video. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed, and follow us on our other platforms. Our backup YouTube channel is the Hood Table 402. We are also on Twitter, IG, Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok. And don't forget, we have our own website, thehoodtable.com, and you can become a member over there and or subscribe to receive a monthly newsletter from me that I send out around the first of the month every month. And also on our The Hood Table YouTube channel, our main channel, you can also become a member over there for only $1.99 per month on YouTube. Only $1.99. So if you want to become a member, feel free to hit that join button on our YouTube channel. And again, in the meantime and in between time, stay safe, you guys. Be blessed, remain vigilant, and keep it hood. Have a good weekend, you guys. Bye.